Independent's Financial Times says U.S. imports of oil from OPEC nations are at their lowest level in 30 years as the shale boom moves America closer to energy independence. Brent Sweet is currently hovering around $79 a barrel, and there is a raft of conspiracy theories as to why Saudi Arabia has not intervened so far. This sets the stage for one of the most interesting OPEC meetings in quite some time as countries discuss how to best shore up oil prices. Joining us now from Abu Dhabi is Chris Faulkner. He's CEO of Breitling Energy. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. There has been so much talk ahead of this OPEC meeting. It is maybe the most critical one we have seen in some time. What are you expecting?
Sure. Look, I think we're 50-50 on if OPEC is going to cut production, right? I think Saudi is willing to cut production, but they want other OPEC countries unilaterally to cut across the board. I think that's where the fight's going to be. You've got countries like Venezuela, who's one of the weakest members of OPEC, whose economy is in serious situations because of the price of oil. But keep in mind, OPEC's going to have to cut significant amount of production to get the price of oil back up. 500,000 barrels isn't going to do it. We're talking a million and a half barrels. And are they willing to cut that much? I think that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, and Chris, there's a lot of talk, a lot of conspiracy that Saudi Arabia, because they can get oil out of their ground cheap, is willing to let that price drop,
Sure,
to squeeze people, and some of those people include U.S. producers. If they don't cut and we see something like $60 a barrel, what would that mean for you? How low can you guys afford to go?
Well, look, I think that the pain number is about $60 a barrel. If we get into the $60 range, we're going to see a lot of rigs lay down, production begin to slow to keep oil in the ground, hoping that oil will rebound to a price that's more healthier. So I think that, you know, a lot of folks think is Saudi beating their chest as the 800-pound gorilla really putting the pain on the United States. I think in a way they are, but I think they want to reinforce the fact they want to reinforce their market share. They can control the cost of oil. They're the swing producer of the world. They want to reinforce that message. And I think they made a comment about 2 weeks ago. They said, look, we can get the price of oil at $80 a barrel. We're okay with that. And it costs us about $25 billion toward our budget. I have to pull that money out of. They have a $750 billion foreign currency exchange deposit, if you will. So they have plenty of money on hand to put the pain on the United States. Now, if they don't cut on Thanksgiving, I think the price of oil will be near $60 or $65 a barrel, and that's going to be a big issue for a lot of the smaller shale oil players in the United States.
It certainly would. Chris, how much influence does OPEC still wield? There's some talk, not only the rise of the U.S. and other energy producers, but the fact that they seem to have so much disagreement among them.
Well, look, OPEC is being held together literally by bubble gum in my mind. They're fighting amongst themselves. These guys can't get along. They can't make decisions for the betterment of the group. I think they get less influence now that America is producing 9 million barrels of oil a day. I think they're becoming less and less relevant. But you've got all these countries basically fighting up against Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia's always come to the rescue. They've always cut production when they needed to do so. I think now, though, they're in a different state of mind. I think that they may actually say, look, if you're not all going to cut, then we're not going to cut. And a lot of those countries can't afford to because they're already in bad shape economy-wise and budget-wise where the price of oil is at. Most of these guys are already in the red. So they need all the money they can get from the sale of oil. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be definitely an interesting Thursday for sure.
It is an interesting one and a contentious one. Chris Faulkner joining us from Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much, Chris. Great to catch up with you on that side of the world.
Thank you, Maggie.